Foreplay presented, as always, by Barstool Sports, and also presented for the entire year by our friends at Owens Mixers. I don't want to do any ads in this show. We're not going to do any ads in this show. Owens, of course, we entered into a partnership where they're our title sponsor for the entire year. So go buy Owens. Love you, Owens. You guys rock. Obviously, Tiger Woods news has shooken up everybody, especially the golf world. It's all over the news. It's all over Twitter. It's all over everywhere. As folks out there, our listeners, you guys have been ride and die. Tiger Woods with us since day one. It's been literally over 4 years because we're like you guys. We just love Tiger. We got into golf because of Tiger. We go nuts for Tiger. We overreact because of Tiger. We do everything because of Tiger. And then news like this breaks where there's the images all over. There are horrible reports, still bad reports. And I'm sure much more news will come out between now and Thursday or Friday. When Thursdays usually we do our second show of the week. So since you guys have all been ride or die, you want to hear our take reactions to what goes on in the world of golf, especially Tiger Woods. Impossible for us not to weigh in. So again, it's not going to be any ad reads. We're just going to kind of talk about it, get our knee-jerk reaction, and then more news will break. We'll hopefully better news will unfold over the next day or two, and then we'll put out the official kind of second show of the week. But about as shooken up, I would say, as I've been for something not directly related to my family, since Kobe. And before then, I didn't even know when I would say that. So it's been a very shitty couple hours.
Yeah, it's just a gut punch. Like, I think it's not settled in for anybody yet. You're just like thinking of Tiger, what he's going through. Like, my thoughts are to himself, his family, um, and just praying that he's okay in one facet or another. There's different ways to, to get potentially back to healthy. And I just hope that he is. And I hope he, anyways, yeah, I'm kind of torn for words of how I feel right now, but it's super sad. It's super somber. Very much brought me right back to Kobe when that happened. It's just a gut punch. You like totally didn't think that was possible, and then it hits you in the face, and then it gets more real every second.
Yeah.
But
yeah, just before we came on here, I did see that a report. And again, this is the internet. The way that it works when something awful like this happens is that so many reports come out at the same time. You don't know what's really going on. You don't know what to believe. But what I did see right before we hopped on, that his injuries were non-life-threatening, which is great news if that report is accurate. We're all obviously hoping for that. But yeah, it's just, I agree with both of you. I don't even think it's really sunk in yet. I didn't, obviously no one woke up this morning expecting to hear any news like this. So when it happens, you really just, you got to give it a little bit of time to process. I know we wanted to hop in on here and just give our reactions and talk about it amongst ourselves, but it's just, we're going to learn a lot more about what's going on, and hopefully things are all positive. But it's just a very, very strange day in the world of golf, in the world of sports, and just in the world of, being a human being.
Yeah, totally. It's a weird day. I mean, it was weird when Kobe passed away. It felt like it was obviously fake when it came out, and you start seeing these tweets, and you're obviously thinking people are just trying to mess around with you and get you to make a reaction on Twitter and make you look like an idiot. And all of a sudden, more people start reporting, and it was one of those moments where I was like, no way. Like, I sat back in my chair, and I was like, there's no way this is happening right now, because like, this is our guy, and we've rooted so fucking hard for this guy, and we know everything about his life. Tiger Woods has had such a fucked up, ridiculous life. It's one of the craziest Cinderella and also just like disaster stories of all time. His life has been a complete roller coaster, and we've gotten to see so much of him up close. I mean, we've spent hours upon hours upon hours just trying to get a good look at him at golf tournaments, even when we were younger, like not even when we were doing this podcast. This guy means so much to us, so much to our listeners, that when you see news like that, I mean, it's the immediate, you call your dad, you call everyone, it's as if like your uncle, or it felt like a family member was going to the hospital and got into a really bad car crash. I know everything about this guy. I'm picturing Charlie, I'm picturing his daughter, I'm picturing his whole entire family, like just like rushing around trying to figure out if Tiger's gonna be okay. And it made me feel instantly physically sick. Like, I actually felt sick.
It's amazing how a moment like this reveals the true like emotional connection that you can feel to someone that's a stranger. I mean, Tiger Woods is a total stranger. And it was like that with Kobe. And I know you guys were talking before we hit record about the parallels with it being in LA area, California, like even quickly some of the helicopter views, you're like, oh no. And then they showed the car at this time. And like Trent mentioned, like the latest is that it's non-life threatening, both legs, at least injured, if not broken, which what that means for his golf career, horrible. So we're not comparing it based on the current information to Kobe in the sense like Tiger, it sounds like reports now he's going to survive, which is number one. He's got kids. Charlie, we saw the PNC, how cool that was. He wanted to be around for another 30, 40, 50 years and do get to experience all those great things in life, obviously. But the connection that you can have and the gut punch, like Lurch said, is incredible that you can feel that and how, it speaks to how like the sacrifices that he made and all this, the sympathy that you feel for him when you watch the documentary or when you read the book or when you hear these tidbits about his upbringing and anything that could have gone wrong. Like you do genuinely feel sympathetic towards Tiger Woods. And you realize that like the sacrifices that he made weren't just so that like he could walk around and be like, hey, guess what? I'm Tiger Woods. It was because it affected so many other people. Like Tiger Woods is fucking inspirational, man. He has delivered moment after moment where it makes everybody think in their life, like, I could do this. Like I could go crush this meeting, or I could go get better at golf, or I could get, he like brought that to millions and millions of people. And you can see that now in that everybody that I'm texting, people don't even know that like we're that big of Tiger Woods fans. You look down at your phone and it's just like people are like, I can't breathe. Like I can't do anything. I was trying to film a fucking Daily Nine. I look at my phone. All of a sudden I got 80 texts. I'm like, oh no. And it's not good. So I immediately leave. I got to grab a burrito quick on the way home because I know I'm not going to eat the rest of the day. And I went through the burrito line. Like I ordered shit on my burrito that I've never, because I couldn't even think. The lady's like, would you like this? And I was like, huh, what? Yeah. They gave me the burrito, I opened up. I had it was foreign to me. I didn't even know what's on it. It's like your whole world is changed. And it's because of how impactful Tiger Woods, one man, lived his life and just delivered. He played fucking golf and he just delivered so many moments for people all the way to a year and a half, 2 years ago in 2019, that just makes you stop everything you're doing and pray that this guy's going to be okay.
I talk about the cosmos and how big the universe is and how we're just a speck of dust in this incredibly infinite landscape. Imagine being a human being with one life to live. You have one shot at it, right? You're born and then you die. And imagine that time in between being so impactful on this little earth that we all gather together to watch this guy play a game. And like, we care to wear his shirt and his colors, and we want to wear his hat. We want to just give him a high five at a tournament. He is that impactful on our lives, our one life. We have every option to go however we want. And we have devoted our sports watching world to make sure that we catch every single glimpse of this man with a golf club in his hand, hitting a golf ball, even as far as to watch him on the driving range with his son. I can't even fathom being that big in that one chance you have to be that big in life, that he actually has that much of a reach and an impact on us. Because I legitimately feel like someone in my family is in the hospital right now getting fucking surgery, and that feeling that is not a feeling that you can just like want, or like you can't just be like, oh yeah, I like Tiger Woods, and then have this feeling. He has to actually like touch you in a way. You have to have some sort of connection to him to feel this. It's straight from the heart, straight from the gut, straight in the brain. And it's honestly scary that we can feel this way for a stranger, the way you put it that way, Riggs.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's all spot on. And I think like the reason you feel that with some athletes or some people in this universe is because you do connect with them in one way or another that's like beyond golf, or that they're inspirational to you. And I think, when people come and go on this planet, it's rare that, or at least that you feel this way about a person that you don't know. And to Riggs's first point of like not knowing, it's the saddest he's ever felt for a non-family member that's been so close to this. And what it does to me, it just like shows you how precious life is too. It's one moment you're fine, he's okay, everybody's driven down the road before, and then whatever happened, and now he's in a certain situation that life could have been taken from him. I mean, it certainly sounds, and based on the pictures, the gravity of the accident and what it looked like, it's certainly like he was on death's door, and I hope he's alive. Like, I say that with a confused mind, because I'm not sure if he is, and I'm just obviously hoping. But what we get within this life, and how amazing this life is, with what it provides to you and what you're able to do within it, and then see this when it happens to a family member, sure, it obviously hits home that how precious life is. But then to see like somebody that you look up to and revere like Tiger is, yeah, just that gut punch of just confused, kind of, you're uncomfortable, and you're kind of just sick a little bit of what's possible. So yeah, I mean, my thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, it's a very surreal day. Yeah, very surreal day. I was taught. I mean, news started break. I'm in the office. I'm at Barstool HQ, and as news started break, like, I was talking with our social guy Zach, and I was like, "Is he alive? Like, I can't believe I'm asking this question or having this conversation. But like, what's the latest report that you read? And do we know if he's alive or not?" Like, it just escalated very, very quickly, and you're just never ready for something like that.
You're 100% right, Trent. And that, like, when it's at the level, and we had this on our group text of where, I said something, and then Frankie's reaction was like, "Wait a second, are we saying there's a chance? Like, we're concerned he's not alive?"
Yeah.
And once it gets to that level, like, I had a phone call, I was panicking, calling people. Phone call with someone who knows people, fucking knows people, and I'm trying to get information. Guy knows nothing, and I just said, like, "Can you just let me know when he's alive?" Like, I just need to know that. Anything else is I can live with. Like, I can. That's like a win right now. We need him to still have his life and be able to be like a person and be able to live with his kids and his family. And the fact that we are at that level with this person was stunning. It was awful. I mean, it is, when Tiger Woods misses a 4-foot putt, it's a gut punch. Like, it deflates the whole room. And now you're talking, like, there's pictures of his car and Jaws of Life and reports there. And it was as bad of a gut punch, with Kobe and with a few other things that I can remember for a great friend, non-family member. And it just makes you think, like Lurch said, about how precious, like, life overall is. I'm talking with my parents, talking with my brother and my friends about, like, hope you guys are safe, hope Tiger Woods is safe. And it's like, anytime we go through one of these with, social media now and modern media, it's such a whirlwind of, like, the DMs that we get, the tweets that you see, the text that you get of somebody in your text group that saw a tweet, and everyone's saying, "I think this is true," and then it's not true. And then you get people, like, with shitty tweets. And then I'm getting people that are like, "You completely jinxed Tiger by tweeting earlier that he's going to win the Masters," where it's just like, dude, what are we talking about? None of that matters. Like, Tiger Woods, a human being who's meant a lot to all of us, is in serious danger for his life. What are we talking about here? Think about what's important. And so it's just been it's only been a couple hours. This happened, hour and a half, 2 hours since it's broke when we're talking. So it's been a wild couple hours, man.
Yeah, and we can save, obviously, we're going to wait for all the details to come out. And there's a lot of things that are going to go into this, like what happened, how did it happen, what was he doing the days before. We'll be able to know, hopefully, everything that went into this. We talked about his appearance at Riviera. We know everything. Everyone's speculating and all this stuff. But like we've said for the last however long we've been on here, we are recording this as he's literally in surgery right now. So whenever you're listening to this, like, we don't know what the final outcome of this is, what happened, how it happened. We will put that out on Thursday, and we're all hoping for really good news, but we can't even get to the point, because every time that this has happened, Tiger has such a crazy roller coaster life that we've had many podcasts, especially you guys doing this for 4 years, have had many podcasts released where you've been able to talk about, is this the end of Tiger Woods, right? Like, there's been back surgeries, there's been injuries, there's been DUIs and all this stuff that have happened in his career since this podcast has been, like, birthed. And for this type of situation, we can't even talk about golf right now. Like we're not talking about if he's going to make it to Augusta in April. We're talking about, is this guy gonna be able to live and then walk with his kids like ever again? You're hearing reports of crushed legs and moderate to critical leg surgeries and stuff like this. So yeah, for what we can release right now and what we can talk about right now, I think it's just about what this guy means to us. I think we've all done a good job of talking about how he's impacted our hearts and our lives, which is crazy to talk about a golfer like that. It almost seems stupid, but then when you really think about it, what we've done, think about Australia. Think about when we flew across the world and how giddy we all four of us were when he just touched our hand. Like, think about that. Like,
I don't think that's that crazy.
Nut. I know, but like when you say it out loud, it's like, all right, like some people may be like, he's just a fucking golfer, but he's not.
But I think like people like that are in that spot are inspirational and like break the barriers at so many levels that they truly inspire kids of like a generation of people.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's crazy. Like Tiger's a guy that transcended golf. Like he is not just a golfer by any means. And so, yeah, I think it's very worthwhile to point out that it's 4 p.m. on Tuesday. There's so many more details that come out from this. We know nothing. But really our voice is that it's somber. We don't know the words to put together. Life's precious. It's hard. And Tiger's crazy impactful to our life. Like I never would have really been interested in golf had it not been for Tiger. I remember going over to a buddy's house and he was a golfer that I was friends with, but I played, other sports and only got into golf kind of in college and really after college. But Tiger's a guy that made me play golf. I mean, the guy was winning insane clips. He was breaking what's thought to be possible. And so when you come across somebody like that or see somebody live their life in that way, I think it only makes you think like, oh man, it's possible for me to achieve more than I ever would have expected. And Tiger's a person that has shown that to the world. So yeah, he's just a golfer, but to like bottle someone up like that is that great and has done that much off the course as well. Like, I think that's unfair. And so, yeah, I mean, anyways, that's a little bit of a spiel, but it's just a weird time.
Just a weird day.
Yeah, it is.
Like and Frankie, you had mentioned this and I genuinely felt it where you were like, I thought I was going to be sick. Like I thought I was going to throw up at one point. I really honestly did. And it's just, yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just a very weird and obviously a very unfortunate and bad day.
I just don't feel this way about anyone when I see them in person. And it was a little bit with Derek Jeter, I guess, because I grew up with him, but there's no relatable feeling when we are at a golf tournament and you just see him walk by, or just you maybe see him on another hole when you're 400 yards away, you see the red or something. I can't compare that feeling to anything in the world. Legitimately, I can't think of one other person where when I see him, I get that feeling in my stomach and the butterflies and my heart's racing just to look at him, like to see him in real life. We've talked about how he's a mythical creature that isn't real. And then all of a sudden you get to go to a golf tournament and he's just there. Like, it's amazing that we are living in a world where Tiger's doing that. And the fact that we are talking about maybe that never happens again. Maybe he's just like, he's in surgery right now. I don't know. I just gotta. I can't even handle
Frank,
it. I can't handle it.
I don't know if there's anybody like. I don't think DJ's a fair comparison. Derek Jeter's a fair comparison to
right, because you're right.
Tiger. It's just like it's a different echelon. Like there's only, in the history of the world, there's only been a handful of people that are on the Tiger level.
Right.
And so I think that's like totally fair. Like, if you met Wayne or Wayne played for the Islanders, Wayne Gretzky, like
right.
maybe
right.
I don't know. Like you have to go for that level of person to, I think, make people feel the way that like you do. And I think you're a Tiger person as well. Like obviously but you are more attached to golf than you ever would be because of what he did for the game. I mean, look at you right now, it's like you're a Tiger guy. Yeah.
Great. Little tidbit about Wayne is I've learned that actually the guys that were like close with him always refer to him as Gretz.
Oh.
Which is weird because I've always just Wayne, like Wayne's a fucking one-man guy, but they all call him Gretz. Like, oh yeah, Gretz was fucking doing this or Gretz was doing that.
I don't know that.
Clearly we're not
I don't know.
Well,
I think we've had this conversation and we're kind of going off the rails, which we probably should on this one, but I don't know that we've ever, I don't know that if you just said Wayne in regular conversation that people would know that it was Gretzky.
I think people, but yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
just at a bar, if you're at a bar and you're like, you see that picture of Wayne yesterday, no chance they're like Gretzky.
But I bet you if you did that in like the 90s, people would be like,
Yes. Yeah, but I mean, if you say Tiger, it's like, oh yeah,
well, Tiger's still playing.
right?
Well, yeah, you know, so.
Yeah.
It's dude, it's a bizarre day. It's almost weird in that it's been such a roller coaster when you get first reports, you have nothing and you're frantically scrolling through the feed and you're pretty much only looking for the worst. You're like waiting for that to come in, that it's like, that it's as bad as it could possibly be. And you're scouring anything for that. And then when you go from that to like, okay, his legs, like it's been such a roller coaster of emotions. And like, are we going to live in a world where like Tiger Woods, he's not here or he can't walk now? Like, how is his back going to be? If he just rolled his vehicle, had to get taken out with the jaws of life and has to have both of his legs go under surgery. Like, we're talking like if I flick Tiger on the side of the arm when we chat, people are like, what are you doing? You'd be careful with his back. And now he goes through that. So all of the just like emotions and the uncertainty suck. But it is, as we've discussed, fascinating to experience that you can go through that with someone that is a complete stranger. I mean, yeah, our close friend Tiger, the boss man, like he's as stranger as you could possibly be. And so to have all of that in one day has been completely nuts. I like praying, doing anything I can, like flipping all the coins in my apartment up to like heads or to tails. I don't know which one's better, like trying to get the best luck for news about Tiger for the rest of the day. Because we don't know anything beyond that right now.
Think about how crazy or insane this guy's life has to be that a documentary just came out and it's supposed to be a must watch. You'll never believe this story of this man and how he existed. And now look, like his story is so far just like beyond what that was in that documentary. He wins the Masters, he comes back, now he's got this going on. His life is just, you want to feel bad for him because of how much it's happened, but then what comes with all of this is Tiger Woods. Like, he touched the lives of a billion people, you know what I mean? So it's so hard to take away what his life really has been. Like, it's a fucking tragedy right now, like the way that it's been going. But on the other side, he's Tiger fucking Woods, and what he's meant to us. We're sitting here wearing mock necks and Tiger hats. Like, I can't wrap my head around what this guy's been through. I just can't. It just leaves me speechless, and not many things really do. I can't think of words to say about what this guy has been through. When he's tumbling down he's getting in another car accident, and his life is now back in the spotlight on the news. We have helicopters again. It's like, I can't believe what this guy has been through, and I honestly want to cry for him. But then he's also Tiger Woods, so it's like you want to think that he's Superman. He's going to come back and he's going to be fucking everything. It's just I wish
there is a
more
little
news.
bit of that. He is like
makes
Superman, like he's indestructible. There is a little bit of that. Like, no, you can't hurt Tiger Wood. Like, no matter what you do to him, he's coming back. I do feel that way. I agree with that.
That is certainly part of it, where you would mention that he's like a mythical creature, and then he goes through something like a car wreck. Like, I can get into a car. Like, anybody can get into a car wreck.
Horrifying.
Tiger as somebody he's Tiger. He's not untouchable. We've learned that, but he is human. But sometimes you really learn that somebody is human when they go through something like this. And it's just, I mean, I mentioned before, I'm at Barstool HQ, but like when this news started to go, the whole place was like, what's going on? What's going on? It's not many people, not many athletes, not many celebrities, not many just figures in the public can turn a place on a dime where people are like, what is going on? And everybody wants to know.
Dude, I was thinking when I was driving back, furiously trying to get to my apartment, and then also like the irony of like, okay, drive smart, don't do anything fucking stupid. And I was thinking about like, boy, has this guy lived a lot of life.
So,
like, holy shit. From when he's 2, he's out there hitting drivers, on TV and making putts. And then by the time he's 4 or 5, he's like winning golf tournaments, and he's breaking, like, I think he shot 45 on 9 holes by the time he was like fucking 2 or 3. Then by the time he's like 10, he's got 8 million trophies. Then he wins 3 straight U.S. amateurs, which nobody's ever done, coming back from like 5 down and making bombs. Then he wins the Masters by like 12, even though the whole world is like, there's too much expectations. There's no way this guy can do it. Revamps his whole swing, wins the US Open by 15, wins 4 majors in a row. He won the British Open by 8, just dusting people, changes his swing again, goes through gets married, has kids, goes through another tear where he dominates. Then he tears the ACL, wins the US Open on a broken fucking leg, ACL, making putts. Then the whole drama goes down and the sagas and everybody's trying to rip his life apart. Helicopters again. Don't know if he's gonna play again. What's he gonna do? There's rehab. There's all kinds of crazy shit. Then he gets back to number 1 in the world. Then he gets injured again. He's gone for 5 years. Then he reappears and wins the fucking Masters. And he had East Lake underneath it where people were fouling him up the fairway, and he wins at the Masters. And then now again, there's gonna be another saga where there's helicopters and there's how's he going to recover from that? Is he going to be able to get to it? Are we just going to be pumped that he's alive? Thank God, which is where we are now. Are we ever even going to get to a point where who knows whether it's in a month or a year or 2 years where it's hey, Tiger's going to play again and comes back and we're going to go through. This guy is only 45. Think about how many fucking lives he has packed in and moments that he has delivered, mostly really, really, really good, some bad. He's a human being. And again, here we are where, like you said, Trent, the entire office, or we have people that they cover every spectrum of entertainment, of sports, of everything you can imagine, are just stopped in their tracks about okay, what's going on with Tiger Woods? And here we are again. And we talk a lot Tiger's pretty old. He's had the back surgery. He's 45. It's that's nothing.
It is wild that there were a lot of people who thought this Tiger story was over in 2009. They were just this is it. It's over. And now it's 2021 and he's still very much at the forefront of everything. Everything he does, he won in 2019 at the Masters, obviously. So you're right. When you guys say he's lived about as many lives as you can and he's only 45, I don't think that's about as spot on as you can get.
Yep. No, I agree. Oh man, it's crazy. Trent looks physically you look like you're off right now being in the office and the vibe. I could tell you're different today.
A little bit.
Your head is on you're because there's a lot of things going on. KFC had a weird tweet. The whole you had to deal with all of that.
The thing is I know because I'm in the office and I know my immediate reactions are definitely all on camera, and they're all just I feel like I'm gonna throw up. It is weird when you go through something like this and there you just see cameras and you're I don't know what to tell you. I feel like shit right now. I feel like I'm losing my sports hero potentially. So it's just it's a strange day to be in the office, but I feel like I feel just as bad as the rest of you guys.
Well, yeah, I do think this is important that we kind of all talk it out. I mean, we are Tiger faithful. This is what this podcast is all about. This is really the backbone of the podcast. Is Tiger Woods' meteoric comeback. It's what helped bring this thing to the forefront of social media and everything. And our listeners are the biggest Tiger fans in the world. Yeah, we go back and forth with the whole thing, Jack versus Tiger, but the basis and the majority of our listeners really do, they love Tiger as much as we do. And I think it's important for us to just all talk it out right now. I mean, we're all pulling for our guy. I do want all of the information to come out before we next speak, because there's going to be a lot of things. I mean, what are the odds that we were just talking about how weird he looked and the whole thing on Sunday and the fucking Horcruxes, all the jokes. It was a regular day of fucking podcasting. And then you wake up and your world is flipped upside down. And it's just, I'm really upset. I really am. I'm really, really upset today. And it sucks because I'm upset for Tiger on a human level. I really am. I'm picturing him smiling with Robbie Mack on the golf course. And it's honestly making me really upset thinking about that.
Dude,
so
I know that makes me God, when the early reports for that, and God, people have to understand how many DMs we get and the misinformation, and you're combing through them and you're trying to figure out what's right. And at one point it was that I'm hearing, Riggs, that Tiger Woods broke his legs, but that there were other people involved in the accident that are dead. And then I'm thinking is it people that we know that are something really, really horrible happened? It's happened to Tiger. You just don't know. And it does make you think about all of those precious moments. Will we get again, Tiger and Robbie Mack rolling up to the range, hitting balls, and Robbie Mack standing there a part, like a mix of a swing coach, a bodyguard, a media consultant? Like, are we gonna, it made me think, are we ever gonna get those moments again? And yeah, like KFC and fight, they had some weird tweets, but like I love Kevin. I just think it's a dangerous game. It's a dangerous game to play when you play the hoax, like calling out the hoax game. So that's going to happen. I don't think Kevin's I love Kevin. I think he's great.
Yeah.
But those were just like horrible timing. There's some history there with Peyton and with that just perfectly aligned with the hoax thing. And that's sort of a bit that they have in their podcast. I don't think Kevin's awful because of that. And I don't think anybody, I'm seeing people, like Justin Ray tweeted a picture of Charlie and Tiger, a screenshot after Tiger won the Masters. And I see people respond to that a pathetic attempt at just getting clout right now. It's what are you talking about?
The read the room people are the worst part of this entire, they are the worst part of the internet. The read the room, what? You read the room. We're all on Twitter right now. What do you think this is? We're not in some court of law where we have to think about every single word we're saying as if it's going to be the life and death of what we're saying or our careers. We're just tweeting about a golfer and a guy who we know. And if someone wants to put a picture of him and his son, that's a publicly one of the best photos in golf history out in support of his favorite golfer and person that he talks about for a living. I mean, let him
made
do
me
that.
Smile. When I saw it just made me smile.
And it puts in perspective, hey,
right.
Maybe we shouldn't be talking about this guy playing in the Masters this week. He has a son that he just hugged at Augusta National in 2019. That means the world to him. Let's remember and put this into perspective, not to fucking read the room. You read the room.
Right. And I will say, I love our fans and listeners, man. I see them responding now. I'm getting a bunch of tweets are coming in. They're dude, I'm sitting at my office listening to you guys talk about Tiger and, and his appearance Sunday and the haircut and then going on the rails on the jokes. And they're and I'm crying because I'm also watching the news about Tiger. And I love it because they get it, right? Those are our listeners get it. They're yeah, no, it's you guys, we're doing our jobs every day. Just like when I tweeted 4 hours ago, a pretty standard, Tiger's going to win the Masters tweet now because he's on the golf course with a set of clubs. People old takes explode. Well, yeah. Then after that, he got in a car accident. Of course, things just change. So I don't care about any of that. Kevin's tweets and all that. I did quote tweet one of them. So I was well, what the hell is going on with it? But overall, do I think anybody should be canceled? No, it's they're just tweeting, doing their thing. It is a dangerous game to play. The hoax game didn't work out. They deleted him, kind of apologized, fine. But other people, anybody's bitching about a certain tweet didn't come out. What are you talking about? People were a picture of Tiger and Charlie on a day when we need to be reminded about that. And we need to not be focused about, is Tiger Woods going to be able to hit the high towering draw anymore? That's a great picture. Like I said, I stopped. I looked at it. I smiled and then I retweeted it because I was hell yeah, that's a great picture right now.
Can we? I would love to do as if every single person listening to this just bowed their head and thought about Tiger for a second. Just like a Tiger Legion. Every single person that's listening to this thing, we all picture we're all at a golf course and we're putting our arms around our buddies and just being "Fuck, man, let's just think about Tiger Woods for a fucking second. What this guy means to us. Let's make sure this guy gets back to just living the life that he wants to live with his family, with us, everything. He means so much to us. Fuck all these people with tweet and bad, whatever. This is about Tiger Woods. You know what I mean? I can picture a legion, a group, an army of people in red right now, all locking arms for our guy who walks down the golf course on Sundays with black pants on, a Nike hat, and a red polo, and he just destroys the world of golf and he transcends it. There's commercials in the 1990s about how he was playing golf courses and winning on courses that wouldn't even let him play because of the color of his skin. And he was transcending the game for whites, blacks, Asians. Every single person was able to come together for this one guy who hit a golf ball in maybe the worst sport in the world. He's made the worst sport be the coolest thing in the world with all these rules. You can't lift up the ball, all this bullshit. He made it the coolest thing in the world. Let's lock our arms together and get this guy back to who he needs to be. You know what I mean? Fuck, man, we need more information. I just can't sit here not knowing how Tiger Woods is. I'm starting to get fucking riled up because it's just making me so angry and upset. But I know that everyone listening, you're on our team, you're on Tiger's team, and that makes me feel a little bit better. And I hope that energy goes back to Tiger right now as we release this. We're going to release this immediately. Hopefully this energy goes to Tiger. Think about that. Hone that energy in and give it to him.
Prayers up for Tiger Woods right now. He's in surgery. Prayers up for him, for his family, for everybody that's very, very close to him. We're pulling for Tiger, obviously. I don't know when we'll be back. Potentially Thursday. We're going to see how information rolls out. Our plan is to do our second, full show of the week on Thursday. Mostly business as usual. Obviously, we'll address the updates, the status with Tiger. Hopefully, it's all good news. That's any power, good energy. Pray to whatever God you believe in. Send it Tiger's way. And I think that's all I got, fella.
I love Tiger Woods, and I love this army of red that we have. And I'm not talking about Russia. I'm talking about people that like Tiger Woods.
Glad you clarified that.
Thank you. I love you guys. I love every single one of you listening.
I love you too, Frank, and I love
Thanks.
Tiger Woods.
Thank you.